It is all too often said that there are no miracles performed these days. Therefore, I challenge this idea with my story of a communist becomes spiritual. Welcome to Miracles in the 21st Century. I am Dr. Eddie Ramirez. One of the hobbies, you could call it, that I do is being a peer reviewer for scientific papers. And as a result of that, you get scientific manuscripts from literally all over the world. So an interesting paper came to my attention to be peer review from China. And this Chinese paper was talking about how certain work things can have an effect on your mental health. In order to do that, what they did, they had this survey that they run, and then based on those answers, that's how they wrote the manuscript that I was peer reviewing. And as I was reading their manuscript, I noticed that among the questions that they asked were questions about spirituality. Yet, in the paper itself, in the results and conclusions, nothing was mentioned about it. So, as part of my review process, I sent a reply to the researcher saying, I noticed that you measure spirituality. How come nothing about spirituality is mentioned in the paper? So they went ahead and revised the manuscript, and this time they did share some of the results, which, by the way, look positive, yet when they were writing their conclusions, they started writing very negatively about spirituality. How, people that are spiritual have more drug use, and how people that are spiritual have all kinds of issues and so forth. So I sent another reply and told them, look, you're saying a lot of negative things about spirituality. I want you to justify your answer. So don't just tell me your ideas. Tell me what has been, documented in the scientific literature about this topic. So they went back and revised their manuscript. They didn't change all the negative things that they were saying. And this time, supposedly, they were justifying those ideas from actually a very good book that dealt with spirituality from one of the major universities of England. So I said, that sounds interesting that they are being so negative and supposedly this has been justified. So I went ahead and searched the original book that they were citing, and I started reading it. It was totally the opposite. That book was talking about all the wonderful things that spirituality has on the person. They tend to be more choosing better healthy things. They use less alcohol. Their depression tends to be less. And over all these wonderful things that happens when you add the spirituality. So after praying and thinking about it, I replied to them and told them, look, you guys, did you actually read what you were citing me? Or you just put something there that you use Google and appear there? And I told them, look, you should look into that. In fact, I even suggested there's some interesting studies like the Adventist Health Study and other scientific studies that have a study with more detail that relationship between spirituality and the different factors of health. So they went back, and this time looks like they did read very well all the things that were written there in that chapter of spirituality and health. And I couldn't even write such a nice thing that they wrote. They started mentioning all the wonderful things that spirituality can have on the health of somebody. So the opinion of them, their perspective was completely changed. How can this happen? In my opinion, this was a miracle. As they saw the evidence, as the Spirit of God started working in them, their final product was a piece of art of what spirituality can have in your health. So, as you can see, this is something that all of us can experience. Test God, and you will see how miracles can happen. I am Dr. Eddie Ramirez.